In other news, is it too costly for families across the region to eat healthy? Or can we do more with the little that we have? Those were just some of the questions a Jamaican professor explored. Professor of Public Health and Nutrition at the University of Technology, Fitzroy Henry, says his team investigated whether eating healthy in Jamaica was too expensive for low-income earners.
We looked at 6 parishes in Jamaica and collected information on commonly consumed foods. And we basically looked at the standard diet and tried to compare the cost of the healthy options versus the cost of the not so healthy options in meeting that standard diet. So that was the crux of the research. And the second part of it is whether or not there is a cheaper way of attaining that standard diet, call it 2,400 calories. What is the cheapest cost of attaining a 2,400 calorie diet? And why we say 2,400 calorie? Because it's like the average amount per person. A male adult is about 2,900. A young child is about 1,500. So if we want to talk about per person, we just took sort of a mid-figure, which is about 2,400. And that compares with the studies that are internationally done so that we can look at, the dollar value, compare them equitably. So those are the 2 main reasons for doing the study.
Meanwhile, one of the chief findings of the research is that the country's minimum wage is exactly what a family of 3 needs to eat healthy on a weekly basis. Minimum wage earners take home $5,600 per 40-hour week. Henry says against that background, he's calling for review of the minimum wage. The study also demonstrates that it's possible to eat healthy for $269 a day.
If you want to eat healthy, it's about 490 Jamaican dollars. And unhealthy is, unhealthy, I'll say less healthy. I don't like this unhealthy because the foods aren't really unhealthy. It's just less healthy according to the health criteria. It's about $402, which is $88 more per 2,400 calories. But the second part of the study was really trying to figure out what is the cheapest way of getting a balanced diet. When we did the calculations, what it showed is that the cheapest way you can get that 2,400 calories in a balanced way is by spending 269 Jamaican dollars per 2,400 calories or per person. Now, if you take that 269 for a family of 3, basically multiplying it by 3, and then multiplying it by 7, you come up with $5,600 per week, which is equivalent to the minimum wage. So this is how the minimum wage came in. In other words, a family of 3 eating a balanced diet at the cheapest possible way is going to be equivalent to the minimum wage. So 2 things we have to do. One is to inform or get information out to the general public, and particularly those who are, economically challenged, about the best way of attaining healthy foods. So that's the first part of it. And based on what we found, if it's going to be equal to the minimum wage, then we really have to raise the minimum wage if we want people to eat healthy. So that's where the minimum wage comes in.
Professor Henry concedes that increasing the minimum wage doesn't mean people will eat better. However, he says the data is clear that poor persons don't have the resources to eat a balanced diet. He argues that eating healthy can substantially reduce chronic diseases, including hypertension, diabetes, and stroke, which is the main cause of death in Jamaica as well as the region.
This study doesn't attempt to solve the poverty problem, as it might, seem to appear. That's not the idea. What we're saying is that if we want people to eat healthy food, then the minimum wage or those who are earning at the lower end of the scale will find it extremely difficult. What is going to happen is that because they cannot afford the healthy meals, they're going to take less healthy options. And this is what sort of perpetuates the obesity and the chronic diseases. You see? So it's not really about solving the poverty problem as it might appear. That's not the idea. Because remember that if you increase the minimum wage or if you give people more money, that doesn't mean the extra money is going to be buying healthy food. So there has to be another part of it, which is trying to inform persons who are interested in his eating healthy about what is value for money. But just looking at the figures, it means that it's very unlikely that people can manage eating a healthy diet with the minimum wage.